And so the land you're looking at here, this has been grazed already 3 or 4 times through the season, and we've run turkeys across it, eggmobiles, and so you accumulate these different symbiotic holons, and suddenly you're generating $8,000 an acre instead of $200 an acre. Suddenly now you're generating enough for the young people to be able to come back to the farm.
Yeah.
All right? This is an economic engine. It's not just an environmental engine, it's an economic engine. We call this procedure mob stocking, herbivorous solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization. And if all the cattle farms in America would practice this, it would sequester all the carbon emitted since the beginning of the industrial age in fewer than 10 years. That's how fast this builds soil. We've seen our average organic matter here in 1961 at 1% organic matter. Today it averages 8% organic matter. And if you look down at the ground, you'll see that the ground is literally covered with earthworm castings. These are all earthworm castings, okay? The idea here is to grow earthworms. If the earthworms are happy, everything is working right. Okay, questions? We're going to have to move right along. Yes?
Do you think that the existence of GMO alfalfa, is that an immediate problem for a farm like yours?
Immediate problem, GMO alfalfa, not for us because we don't grow any alfalfa. But we have some scattered spots. I don't know what all those are, and I can't do anything about it anyway. And so I don't grow any alfalfa, and so I don't like alfalfa actually.
But does the seed travel by wind?
Oh yeah, pollen travels, seed travels. I mean, yeah, I'm not a friend of GMOs. I mean, we don't use any GMO grains. We use no GMO plants. But there again, oh me. These issues, like GMOs, there's a tremendous amount of move afoot to try to outlaw GMOs or label GMOs or whatever. Let me tell you where I am. This is the kind of more libertarian approach to that. And that is, the first time a patented Monsanto life form trespassed onto my farm and impregnated my plants and gave me a life form that they own that I didn't want, the district attorney should have been out there taking the CEO of Monsanto to jail for trespass violation.
Yeah.
We don't need a bunch more labeling laws. We don't need a bunch of that, of much more bureaucratic regulatory. Man, I can't get stuff on the market today because of labeling laws. In my world, there wouldn't be any labeling laws. Call it whatever you want to. I mean, it's amazing that the dairy farmers still can't put RBGH free. I don't need the government telling me how to speak correctly, okay? What we need is just to enforce Judeo-Christian British common law property and trespass law, and these things would become non-existent. Instead, what we have are, if your life form trespasses on my farm and gives me GMO canola or corn that I don't want, a life form that I don't want that you own, not only are you not liable, but I have to pay you a royalty for the privilege of you trespassing on my. Is this nuts or what? This is nuts. Okay, we've completely lost our minds. Okay, so that's my answer to the GMO thing. I don't like them, but rather than outlaw them, this is where I become kind of a hybrid of the control libertarian. Rather than outlaw GMOs, and that's a gray issue. So rather than outlaw GMOs, I would simply say enforce trespass law. And I mean, think about it. GMOs are sexually promiscuous by design. I mean, you think humans are promiscuous? Turn some pollen loose. It's an actual orgy out there. And why in the world would we allow, I mean, would you imagine if Ford Motor Company patented disc brake, patented a disc brake that was designed to jump from their car to your Chrysler. Would we tolerate that? Of course not. But we're perfectly fine with this GMO stuff. It's unbelievable. That's my position on GMOs. Yes?
How much rest does this grass get between grazing periods?
How much rest does it get between grazing periods? Yeah, it all depends on how fast it grows. I mean, if you're in a drought situation, you know, it might go 100 days or 200 days, I mean, until it regrows. You have to wait until it comes back to energy equilibrium.
So you don't want it at the point where it's in seed yet, when you bring your grazers back? You want it...
No, seed's fine. Yeah, seed's fine. Yeah, they're eating that just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about things like this nettle? Because I have a lot of that in my field, and
okay.
I know it's kind of toxic.
All right. Yeah, the nettle they don't like. But let me talk about weeds. Yeah, you know, some of our pastures are really clean. Some of them aren't. But the thing is, as long as the cow will eat something, I don't care. Like this cockle, they'll eat that right up. They're eating all that. Okay? I don't consider that a terrible thing. They eat it. All right? And about the only one here they won't eat is this Carolina nightshade nettle, but it's not very much. And you know what? We're still getting 400 cow days an acre.
Okay, so what?
Apparently, so what? It's filling a niche. It's filling a place. You know, homeopathy has this law that healing has to occur in the same in the reverse order in which the disease occurred. Okay, so for example, if you've got an internal problem that manifests itself out on a skin problem, you want to start curing the inside, and gradually it'll go to the outside. Are you with me? And so you know, these fields have been pillaged for a lot of years. It takes 100 years after one tillage for all of the native perennial species to come back in. 100 years. Well, we're only on 50 years for these fields. So we see changes in vegetation and things, and you know what? It's all just part of it's okay. All right? I mean, when we came to this farm, it was all thistles and ragweed. Now you can't find any thistles or ragweed. It was all broom sedge. Now you can't find any broom sedge. But there are different things. That's okay. You know, I'm not in control anyway. All right. So enjoy it. You know, and enjoy the theater and the way the ecology dramatizes its healing and expresses its patterns.
And do you ever mow this off? Do you clip it, or do you just let it die back, go dormant in the winter, and start again grazing?
Well, this was mowed for hay back, 3 months ago. This has grown up since, and after this pass, no, we won't mow it. We'll let it be whatever, and it'll come back as stockpile forage. What we're doing right now is grazing ahead of the broilers to shorten the grass down.